You have walked through paths of doubt and silence, carrying in your chest questions without answer. In the whisper of the wind and in the light of the moon, there is a message that awaits to be revealed. You are not alone. You have never been. From the beginning, eyes full of love have followed each one of your steps, waiting for the perfect moment to talk to you, to show you what has always remained hidden, right in the comments. The secret love is revealed in the perfect moment. There is a love that burns in the mystery, a feeling so pure and deep that words tremble when trying to contain it. A heart is a secret for you, keeping inside a ring that transcends time. God knows the latitudes of that love. The celestial messengers have been witnesses of each furtive look, of each thought that has not been dared to fly. And now, in this moment, the veil begins to rise. There are words that were never pronounced, feelings that were trapped in the silence of the soul, waiting for the moment when the voice dares to break the quiet. From the deepest of a heart that observes you in secret, a love is raised as a celestial whisper, vibrant and full of a truth that has been saved with jealousy, right in the comments. I trust that your heart will find me. Every moment you have lived, every thought that has crossed your mind, has been a witness of a presence that accompanies you without you knowing it. It is not a coincidence that certain looks cross, that the paths approach without touching at all. There is an invisible thread that unites the destinies, a connection that transcends human understanding. Write in the comments. The true love is always on your way. God knows this secret. He keeps it in the breath of creation. The celestial messengers have felt the weight of each content emotion, the struggle between the desire to reveal the truth and the fear that the words are not enough. Why? How to express it inconveniently. How to give shape to what burns in the soul without losing its purity. Time advances and with it, uncertainty grows. It has been written in the heavens, a story that still awaits its unlink, a love that dances on the border between the shadow and the light. Perhaps you have felt the presence of that ring in the small details, in a word said with sweetness, in a gesture that passes unnoticed for the world, but that keeps an immense meaning. Write in the comments. The true love is always on your way. Confession is suspended in the air, trapped between fear and hope. There is a moment when the truth becomes inevitable, when the light must touch the one that has remained hidden. But the soul that loves you secretly asks himself, is this the right moment? Will he break his love if the words cross the border of thought? And so, love awaits, immortal in his hope, Latin with the force of what cannot be denied forever. Love is not always revealed with words. Sometimes it is hidden in the simplest gestures, in the breeze that caresses your face when the world seems heavy, in the gaze that stops a second more than necessary, as if in that instant you find a refuge. It is a thread of light that interlaces with your life, sigil but constant, waiting for the moment when you can see it clearly. However, there are barriers that separate the hearts, walls raised by fear, uncertainty, or the feeling that perhaps it is not the right time. That love that observes you from a distance knows that some things must change before being able to take a step towards the truth. It is not the lack of courage that stops the confession, but the longing for what, when the time comes, the words are on a firm ground where to bloom. God, in His infinite wisdom, allows everything to have its course, that each feeling is matured in the precise moment. The celestial messengers have seen how emotions debate between the urgency to rebel and the need to wait, because it is not just about loving, but about being received in love with fullness. Perhaps you have already crossed paths with that feeling without recognizing it. Perhaps your signs have gone unnoticed in the midst of the noise of everyday life. But true love never disappears. It never dissolves in the distance. It remains, even in the shadow, feeding on each shared moment, on each memory that keeps in secret. Sometimes, it is necessary that something changes within us to be able to see what has always been there. Perhaps it is a lesson that still must be learned, a fear that must be released, a door that must open so that the truth can enter. And when that happens, when the veil falls and the light reveals what seemed hidden before, you will understand that love was already surrounding you, that it was always close, waiting for the instant when fate gave it its opportunity. The human heart is a mystery in itself, a universe of rings, dreams, and silences that sometimes we do not know how to decipher. With frequency, we walk through life with a fixed gaze on what we believe to seek, without realizing what surrounds us. Love, as close as the air you breathe, patiently waits for your soul to be ready to recognize it. It does not always come with strut, nor does it announce itself with grandiose words. Sometimes, it is a subtle presence, an unbreakable constant that does not need to draw attention to make it real. That love hidden in the shadow is not a coincidence, it is not a passenger whimper. It has been born of the purest truth, of the certainty that there is something in you that illuminates your existence, something that without knowing it, has been its compass in uncertain days. God has woven the destinies with infinite precision, interlacing souls in ways that we do not always understand at first sight. The messengers, the celestial, have been witnesses to so many unfinished stories, of feelings that await to be discovered, of confessions that are retained by fear, of altering what already exists. But love does not disappear in the wait, it only fortifies itself. To see it, to allow it to flourish, it is necessary to open the heart. Not with the rush of the one who seeks immediate answers, but with the humility of the one who allows himself to discover what fate has arranged. There are truths that only reveal when the soul is ready, when we stop looking only forward and we begin to perceive what has been by our side all the time. Maybe today you do not see it clearly, but love has already found its way towards you. Only the instant is missing in which both hearts are recognized in the same truth. Those who have learned to open their hearts, those who have trusted in what is not always seen but feels the deepest of the soul, have found a peace that transcends understanding. Because when love is received with faith, when it is given the welcome without fear, it becomes an unstoppable force, capable of illuminating even the darkest corners of existence. The soul that loves secretly does not only keep his ring in silence, but also protects it with the hope that, when the moment arrives, his feeling will be understood. And when that wait finds its reward, when love stops being a contented whisper and becomes a shared truth, everything changes. The shadows that before seemed unsalvable are unleashed, the fears lose their power, and life acquires a new meaning. God has promised blessings to those who walk with faith, to those who allow love to flourish in their time and form. The celestial messengers have seen how the said one envelopes those who have known how to recognize what was always destined for them. There is no pure joy than the one of a heart that finally finds its way, which discovers in another soul the reflection of its own essence. Those who have opened the eyes of the Spirit have understood that love is not just a feeling, it is a guide, a path that leads us to something greater than ourselves. They have learned to see the details, to find beauty in the simplest gestures, to recognize in each instant a sign that they have never been alone. Because when the soul stops resisting and gives itself to the truth that has always surrounded it, the whole world changes color. Life stops being a maze of doubts and becomes a fertile field where everything is possible. The said one is no longer a distant ring, but a constant presence, a light that shines in the certainty that love has been found. There are blessings that are buried on those who love in silence, on those who carry a pure and sincere feeling in their chest, saved with devotion. Love is not it is not an ephemeral ring. It is a flame that burns without consuming, supported by hope, strengthened by faith. And you, without knowing it, you are the center of that love. Every thought that has been dedicated to you, every prayer raised in your name, has been received by God, who knows the secrets deeper than the human heart. The celestial messengers have been witnesses of this hidden love, of every moment in which their holder has looked at the sky, asking if the day will come when he can speak without fear, in which his feelings are in a home in your soul. But the blessing is not only for those who wait, but also for those who are expected. Because being loved secretly is receiving an invisible gift, a shield against loneliness, a light that even follows you in the days when your presence is not perceived. It is a love that intercedes for you in the distance, which wishes for you joy, peace, and fullness, even without being recognized. When time is the right thing, when the barriers unfold and the truth can be said, that blessing will be multiplied. Because the love that has been proven in the wait is strong, it is unbreakable, it is a reflection of the divine. It is not a love that demands, but that delivers. It is not a love that fears, but that trusts in the purpose that God has drawn. And so, while the stars follow his course and the destinations intercede with infinite precision, the saying awaits both. The wait is not a void, but a time of preparation, a space where the soul is strengthened and love becomes a dignified treasure to be shared. Because when the truth is revealed, when the hearts find themselves in the same certainty, the blessing will be complete. Each love story has its own rhythm, its own compass marked by divine will. Not all truths are revealed immediately, not all feelings find their voice in the instant they are born. There are loves that flourish in the light of the day, others that grow in the penance of the wait, strengthening in silence, preparing for the moment when they are finally received. This love that has remained hidden is not weakness nor fear, it is respect for the beauty of perfect time. Its holder has chosen the path of patience, not for lack of courage, but because he knows that there are confessions that only must be said when the heart that receives them is ready to understand them in its entirety. God knows it. The celestial messengers have heard each whisper, each doubt, each prayer raised in search of a signal. Perhaps that instant is closer to what you imagine. Perhaps the distance between silence and truth is gradually vanishing. And when the day comes when everything can be expressed, when the words no longer need to be contained, when the eyes find themselves and the soul understands it without need for explanations, the wait will be worth it. Because true love does not dissolve in uncertainty, it does not disappear with time. It remains, grows and turns into something greater than any thought I could have imagined. And when two hearts finally recognize themselves in the same feeling, there is no barrier that can be interposed between them. So keep going, with the soul open to what is to come. Trust that everything that has been saved with